In today's episode, I'm going to show you how to engrave metal and how I engrave my metal to get it ready for a metal art project. What's up everyone? Welcome to another episode from Pacific Arc Tig Welding. My name's Dusty. Thanks a lot for joining me today. Today's another different episode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I engrave my metal and I get it ready for a metal art project. So I basically have my basic tools set up here. I'm going to show you what I use to engrave as far as bits and the tool itself. I'm not going to put the respirator on today because you're not going to be able to hear me talk. So I got my bandana here. Second best thing. Does an all right job. I can still talk to you through my microphone under my shirt here, so that's why I'm wearing this today. But this one's a little bit different because the one I'm going to be engraving here today, this one you may recognize. This is a bit strange for me because basically I've already released this episode of me welding this guy. So be sure to pop in the description below. I'll have a link to the finished video of doing this. But basically, I just wanted to do a little bit of a deeper dive into how I do the engraving process because I get a lot of questions from people who'd like to get maybe into metal art a little bit. If you haven't seen that episode, bounce down in the description below, check it, and then bounce back to this one. It'll make a little more sense. But basically, what I'm going to show you here, and get all the stuff off it first, is I've already drawn this piece out. So I've got basically everything stenciled out with pencil. I've drawn it all by hand. I've basically used a ruler and a tape measure to do the entire thing, measure all the increments. As you can see, I've graphed it, basically drawn out a graph because as you saw in the piece, I like doing pointillism, it's called, which is a lot of dot work. As well as that, you'll see I've drawn a face on here. As well as that, I've used a straight edge to draw all these horizontal lines here on a 45-degree angle. These here are all going to be weld passes, basically from here to here. All this, as well as I'm planning to do a little bit of paint here and there, obviously, and then over here in this blank space, that's all going to be painted as well. So what I did a few weeks ago was I jumped onto my Instagram live. Basically, when I was drawing this up, basically came in here with a coffee and just started doodling my ideas from a sketchbook onto the plate. I did an Instagram live on my phone. So if you don't already, follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle's right there. I don't do it very often, but I do Instagram lives, and it was kind of fun too because while I was drawing this, I was also doing basically a Q&A, just kind of hanging out with whoever jumped on it. So if you don't already, follow me on Instagram. Check it out if you're keen on that. So I'm going to show you what I use to engrave the piece. Pretty simple. This is what I use. It's called the Dremel 3000. It's nothing too fancy. It's basically the most simple, basic version of the Dremel kit that you can buy. I bought it from our local countrywide hardware store called Canadian Tire. It's yeah, I have, as you can see, this thing is super beaten up. I've used it literally for hours and hours. I've engraved dozens of these pieces of all sizes with this same guy here. Basic kit. I would like to upgrade at some point to get the kind of extendo kind of deal that comes off the end of this. So what you can do is you can actually just mount this, hang it up somewhere like that, and then you have like an extendo cord that comes off of it, and then you hold it in your hand, kind of like a tattoo gun kind of ideal with the needle, or the diamond point bit, what I use here, and I'll just be able to sketch out on the plate like that. So future upgrade, that's one you'll see coming to the studio sometime soon. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my bandana on here, I'm going to crank it up, and I'm going to kind of give a play-by-play on how I engrave certain areas of my piece here. Okay, let's get the gear on here, eye protection. So what I'm going to do, because these are all dot work that I'm going to do into pointillism in the welding process, I'm basically just going to be doing little touches. I am using a diamond tip bit here. These are really awesome. You can get them off Amazon. In my description below, I will have a link to all the diamond bits that I use, as well as the different Dremel tool kits that I've seen. If you want to support my channel, use the Amazon link in my description below. You click on the link, you buy whatever you need. It costs you nothing extra, but I get a little kickback from it. So you can click on the link, go on there, buy gloves, book, sunglasses, a fence, an airplane, anything off Amazon that you find on there you want to buy. As long as you use my link below, I'll get a little kickback from it. It's called an affiliate link. Kind of an easy way to support the channel. But anyway, all the Dremel tool stuff that I'm using here will be in the description below on Amazon. If you want to pick it up for yourself, check it out. As you can see here, here's a kit that basically I've gotten off Amazon of all the different diamond bits, shapes, pointed ones, blunt ones, weird shaped ones, which I've never used before because they're too weird. There's these guys here are pretty nice. They have kind of a decent point to them, which is nice. So they do last an okay amount of time. They don't last forever, but they last long enough to get your project done. Okay, so I got all of the dot work all laid out. We're good to go on that. All this stuff is done over here. And these little spots here are done as well. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna get a straight edge. I'm gonna show you how I lay out straight lines. So you can basically use what you'd like to use as a ruler, straight edge, whatever you wanna call it. I got this badass piece of stainless steel right here. It's been cut by a shear, so it's dead straight. Nice thing I like about this is it's kind of heavy, so when I place it on here and go to trace with the lines with the Dremel tool, I know that this isn't gonna go skipping off or anything like that. One thing I do recommend is if you're doing this and you really are a little unsure of how stable you can be with it, clamp a straight edge down. It's the easiest way to make sure you keep all your lines nice and straight. Clamp it down to your piece, a clamp on each end. That thing won't move on you. You can scribe a nice straight line on it here. I'm a little bit confident in my ability to keep it straight, so we'll risk it. Who knows, I might screw up on camera. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it on my line, and then I firmly press down with the static hand like so. Then the one important thing you have to remember is your rotary tool rotates in a direction. So this Dremel tool rotates in a clockwise dimension like so. So because it's rolling this way, we want the spin to be rolling towards the straight edge. So the reason we don't want to do it the other way, where we have the roll going away from the straight edge, is because you might be pulling your line like so, and it might roll off the straight edge and you'll leave a big scrape or a big mark across your piece. So basically what you're doing is you're setting up a little fence for yourself so that the piece can spin all at once. If it does somehow manage to skip, it's gonna skip over your straight edge or your fence like that. So the idea is to basically protect your straight edge because it's a rotary tool. It's basically gonna want to pull away from you this way. So setting up a bit of a fence so it won't do that. So I'll set it up nice and straight. I take great care to make sure it's nice and straight. And then all we do and then you can see we have a perfectly straight line scribed on there, nice and safe. So you can see it followed pretty much perfectly. That's exactly what we want right there. Nice work, straight edge. You can see now that all of these edges are super clear. When we get behind the welding lens, sometimes it's a little difficult to see where you're at, but now we got a clear as day layout so we can see exactly where we're going. That's exactly what we're looking for. So, like I said, because this is all gonna be dot work on the final project, I can't draw a straight actual line on here. So I'm basically gonna just do dots, kind of like a perforated edge, to give myself reference points, and then I'm gonna freestyle it as I go. But that's all I'm gonna do, so check it out while I engrave this last little bit, and then I'm all done. So there you can go. You can kind of see I got a little perforated line to follow now for the face, which is going to help me out as I get behind the mask. Like I said, I'll just give a rough outline here and now. So what I'll do now is I'll give it a quick wipe, totally decontaminate it before I start welding, and then time to party, we can start welding. Okay, so there we go. That's how I go about getting ready to do a metal art piece. Hope you enjoyed this one. Like I said, check the description below if you haven't seen it already. This episode, you can see how the piece turned out. This is a piece for myself, but just recently I have announced that I will be taking on some commissions. I do original artwork commissions. So if you have an idea, get in touch with me. Go onto my website, pacificarctigwelding.com. You can send me an email. We'll start a conversation back and forth. I'll kind of see what you're looking to have done, and we'll see if I'll be a good fit for the artwork that you'd like to have done. A challenge I always issue at the end of every episode is just do something nice for a stranger. We need more positivity in the world today, so random act of kindness is something I always encourage at the end of every episode. Just a little thing I like doing to spread some positivity in the welding and artwork community. So again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate everybody that watches these videos, especially these kind of like hangout videos where I just hang out in the studio, show you how I do something, get ready for an art project or at any point in my art project. So if you have any ideas for episodes or anything you'd like to see about my artwork, leave it in the comments below. I will try and read all the comments. They're getting a little tricky to keep up with, but leave them in the comments below. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that watches my channel so much. I can't thank you enough. So again, hope you have a good one. Everyone's cool out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace out.